Welcome to 90 Day Fiance.
Three-way.
Three-way.
Replay. Boop, boop.
Pew.
Boop.
All right. Episode 9, Poison in the Honey. How's it going?
What, honey?
Very good.
Yeah? Did you want to start
You
with?
had no more COVID? Is it gone?
COVID is gone for
Congratulations.
me. Thank you.
You are now immune for another 4 months.
Oh, yeah. I'm about
If
to go
that.
out.
I
Yeah,
know.
dude. Go off. Go off, sis.
I just came back from Disneyland, and while we were there, I was like, oh man, we're definitely catching COVID here.
Did you
I'm
get
just
COVID yet?
waiting. I don't know. It's been how many days? 2 days? Maybe in the next 2 more days.
Mm.
Hey, when do you go back to work? Do you still work, or is that not a thing you do anymore?
I do work. I go back in the end of August.
Must be nice.
I know. Well, this will be my last maternity leave.
For
Yeah,
now. It's
for
your
now.
last maternity leave
now.
for like the next 9 months.
I gotta say, I'm pretty in love here. It does make me want more.
Oh, God. God save us. You know who else wants some babies?
Who?
Bilal.
Good
and
one.
Shida.
Good one, Bilal. Die. Okay, let's start with them. So, Shida is hanging out with Bilal and his kids, and then they decide to start cooking. Shai and the daughter are cooking some curry. They talk about cleaning chicken like lady parts, and the daughter's like, hey, this is kind of awkward, but go with it. And then the Umi thing comes up again. And Shida explains that it's kind of just a term of respect in their country, like how you would call older individuals, not necessarily just mom, not a mom figure or a mom.
Mm-hmm.
And the daughter's still like, you know what? I'm still not sure. And she's like, okay, just think about it. Just see how it goes. And it ends there. And the next scene, they go on a family outing where they ride scooters. And she does her best. You know what I like about Shida is I love her awkwardness. She feels real. So she tries the scooter, falls a few times, but does pretty well. And then they sit down to talk, her and Bilal, and they have a real conversation. She says that he always has to win an argument. And he's very nitpicky about everything, and it makes her nervous. She's over here shining spoons. And he's like, no, what are you talking about? I mean, even your mom said that you can't shine silverware very well, or you can't clean it very well. And she's like, oh, I hate when you do that. I hate when you throw things back in my face. He's like, no, I didn't do that. And then anyway, the argument goes nowhere. He says he's never argued so much in his whole life. And it makes him just not want to talk about things because they get nowhere. So after hearing their conversation, whose side are you on?
Got it, baby.
Yes, it is. You have an opinion about this? Okay. All right. What do you guys think?
Shida forever.
Yeah,
because I hate Bilal.
I really hate Bilal in this episode. I mean, even if he's sort of kind of right about the silverware or whatever, it's like that's not important. The point is like letting your partner feel heard. And it's true, like he never lets her feel heard. Like he always just shuts her down completely. Like when she says him he's fussy, he'll just be like, no, I'm not. Like completely just like deny her argument. And so I can see where she's coming from. She never feels like she's getting anywhere with what she's trying to say or like her opinion. It's like opinion doesn't matter. And the only thing that matters is his opinion. And then he just like ends up lecturing. So I feel like if this is the person you want to spend the rest of your life with, like just let her feel heard and all those little nitpicky things, like just let it go. But I feel like, yeah, he can't really let those things go. He always has to be right. And it's just like, it really made me not like him in this episode.
Just this episode, I feel like I've been
Not just this
sounding the
episode.
alarm of He-Man Bilal Haters Club since
Not
episode 1.
yeah, but I mean, like it was just like I don't know. It was more apparent in this episode.
Yeah, he always has a response. It's almost like denying her reality. She's like, I feel this, and then he's like, no, like I think you're crazy. What are you talking about? She's like, no, wait, that just happened. He's like, no, no, I'm not nitpicky. Nope, no OCD here. Nope. So right, so she doesn't feel like she's getting heard. Also, she wants to talk about wedding things, and he's not really too interested in it. And I feel for her because she depends on him for everything. Like she's depending on him to help plan this wedding, and if he doesn't act on it, she kind of doesn't know what to do, or her part. So, poor Shy. I just want her to have more power in this relationship.
Yeah, I agree.
And that was it for
Yeah.
them. There wasn't too much.
So who do you want to go to next?
What
We could
is
do
your take
Kara.
on this another Muslim religion person being Mohammed? I just have to get it out there because this dude is pissing me off.
What do you mean, like another Muslim person?
Well, I just wanted to like segue something. Muslim was the only thing I could think of.
Okay.
He's in
Yeah, that
his
guy's
own
a
class.
dick, dude. I hate him. Well, I don't know that I hate him, as I very strongly dislike him. Well, let's get into it. So, like this continued storyline of Muhammad basically wanting his way and only his way. He's upset that Eve keeps hanging out with her friends, and she got in late while he was already asleep. She tells him that she just needs that time to be alone with her friends and that they express their concerns because they feel like she might be losing herself by changing in a way that Mohammed wants her to change. So Muhammad asks her, why does she think Islam would cause her to lose herself? And Eve says she's way too much of a free spirit to be like confined to a bunch of just like different rules. But Muhammad says in his interviews that Eve doesn't have to convert, but he expects her to respect his culture when she decided to be with him. So what the hell does that mean, to respect his culture? But
Well,
the way that he's expressing it is more like, you have to do what is comfortable for me, but I won't do the same for you.
exactly, with the whole plumber thing, like respecting him means like she has to not be in the same room alone with another man, even though she's the one doing everything. So how is that? It's going to be so much harder for her. And then also like just commenting on what she's wearing. She's not allowed to wear bikini. So it's like he's saying his respect for him is for her to obey him, which is like not at all correct. So her suspicions are absolutely accurate in terms of like if like she ends up converting, he's gonna want to control her. And even if she does end up converting, he already wants to control her. So like it's just a bad
Yes,
situation.
I agree. So it's not so much that he wants her to convert, but he wants to be able for her to do the things he says she needs to do, and uses his like Islam religion as kind of the crutch to why he wants to dominate her.
Yeah. He's like framing it as like respect, but he doesn't like respect her at all. He doesn't respect
Yeah,
her views or her where she's coming from. It's just like totally selfish, which is like we already knew that he just had like a child's mind and he just only thinks to his own perspective and he just only thinking about himself and he wants like a mommy wife servant. So
yeah, this mommy wife servant thing is just so bizarre. Muhammad thinks that she should have figured out what he was all about in the 4 times that she went to go to Egypt, and that should have been ample time for her to like know that this is very important to him, basically, and that he's not going to change who he is.
mm,
So like I don't know where he gets off making these ultimatums that he's not going to change, but he wants her to change.
Yeah. And I think it's true. The point you made about like when you're on vacation, you don't really see like the reality of the everyday, because you're just trying to have a good time. So I could see how she didn't see him exactly.
But it sounds like they didn't communicate at all. Like the way he says this is who he is, like she should have known. It's kind of like, well, I don't know. This seems like very basic things that you would talk about within the first day or two. Don't you
Mhm.
think?
Yeah,
Like, come
it
on, like, are
seems.
you a strong, like, how do you feel about me being in a bikini and this? Like,
Yeah,
was
that's
he
what I was
upfront or
gonna
was
get
he
at.
not
Is
upfront?
how hypocritical of you to hit on a woman because of her appearance and then proceed to tell her that she's not allowed to dress this way ever again. I mean, like that's so weird. It's so weird.
Yeah, I mean, maybe there was an issue with the due diligence on both of their parts. But now it just seems so hypocritical. Like I could see how Eve thought like exactly what you said, that, you know, she didn't know that it was gonna be such a problem for him, her appearance, because the reason why he messaged her was because she was in a bikini. So maybe she just didn't think like, oh, this is gonna be an actual real problem or such a huge problem for him. But it turns out it is, which is dumb because that's the whole reason why I messaged her.
No, so crazy.
You
So,
mess, yeah.
he's doing this thing where he was like, "Hey, if you don't do what I say, you're really wasting my time." And I'm just sitting here like, "All right, dude, pack it up because we don't want you here."
Uh
Also, if he was such a strong Muslim, the way he kind of associates it with his father, then my thought is, then why didn't you marry someone who was Muslim, a devout Muslim?
Exactly. That's the other thing about this. It's like, you know what? Your culture and being Egyptian super important to you. You should continue to date people that make it so that it is comfortable for you, that you don't have to like change yourself. And that's all they have this week, those drama queens.
all right, let's do Cara and Guillermo, the most boring couple, real quick.
Oh my
Uh,
God, I yawned.
yeah.
When you just said their name, I yawned.
So basically, they're having an argument about wedding now versus wedding later, and it's as an extension of like Guillermo's issue with Cara, always disagreeing with him and shutting him down. So he feels like Cara is just like the boss here, and he's not able to do anything that he wants to do. So she just placates him just this one time to let him see the issues with getting having a wedding now. So he thinks like the wedding is probably going to cost like two k, which is totally dumb and completely naive. But it's good that she let him figure it out on his own, so that she is not in this situation where she just keeps on disagreeing with him and shutting him down. So this is what she needs to do. She needs to let him learn his own lessons and just like let him do what he wants. Um, and so basically, they go to this venue. He finds out it's going to be like $7,000 to $10,000, and he's like, "Oh, well, that's not going to work out." And she's like, "Yeah, that's true. It's see, like it means that we could save for a wedding later. Doesn't mean that we can't have it now." And then it devolves into the actual argument, which is what I just said, just like her always disagreeing with him. And then they don't get to any special place. Like she says that, "Oh, I'm gonna try better to listen to you and like your opinions, but I'm still gonna say, what I want to say." And he's like, "I'm not gonna do what I don't want to do." And it's like, okay, I guess it's like a very boring couple argument.
Can I can I interject real quick and say,
Yeah.
even as you explained this right now, when I was watching it, I had no clue what their fight was about,
Yeah. And
and I still don't know what's going on.
it's like a nuanced fight. It's like, it's whatever. It's just a basic about her always saying no to him. And then on the next on we see her friend is like telling her not to do something. I don't know exactly what. And she's like, "No, I'm gonna do what I want." I was like, okay.
You should get
It's not even
together
like
with Mohammed.
it's not even that like I even disagree or really super dislike them. I'm just like I'm not interested in
I
anything.
which is crazy because they're really good looking people. But I guess
uh,
looks aren't everything.
I was just gonna say, I'm like, you know what? I'll take some ugly people right now if they
Yeah,
have a little bit. You know who was great? Kim and Usman. That
they
was a
were.
great story.
yeah.
That was
That was a great story.
that
So
was
yeah, it's
really
like
entertaining.
yeah, that's exactly right. They just because they look good doesn't mean they're going to be entertaining. Even though it seems like they would be entertaining because they're young and they like to party, but like their problems are so vanilla and like just not interesting. It's just like, oh, whatever, forget these people. I don't care what happens to you. Break up, stay together, it doesn't matter.
Yeah, it's like it does not affect our show. You guys are lame.
All right. That's it
The,
for them.
their problems seem like right, like everyday relationship problems that maybe people would be able to relate to, but it's like the boring problems, like the
Yeah.
really, really boring ones that even though you can relate to it, you're like, I don't even want to hear it because it's so boring.
Yeah. It's like if your friend is always offloading their issues on you, and it's just like the same and it doesn't change for like a very long time, and you're just like, okay, you don't really know what else to say.
You've
but
shared everything.
but it's problems that's really boring.
Yeah, like
Yeah,
very
it's a
nuanced,
nothing
boring.
problem. I'm like,
Yeah.
what is the problem exactly? Like the fight was about money, and then it became, I'm just not gonna do things that I don't want to do. That
Right,
was the fight.
right, okay, so maybe it's just that the argument is basically a non-argument. Like there's no real argument there. So that's why.
This is why there's so many couples on the season because some of them are like hella boring.
Oh, I know. There were some misses this season.
Yeah.
This is one of them.
We can
But
move
you
on.
but you know who's not one of them?
I was gonna say, should we segue to a beautiful couple with great problems?
Yes. Patrick and Thais.
Ooh.
Yay.
All right. So Pat is talking to his brother. Um wait, what's his brother's name? John? John.
Yeah.
Yes, she always says
John.
John. John. About her tracking his phone. And he's like, yo, are you gonna deal with that? And he's like, yeah, I will. So we see them go on a dinner and he brings out a box. And in this box is a lot of lingerie. And in the very bottom, a brand new iPhone. And she's super excited about it. She's like, oh, thank you. She loves it. But then he's like, well, this is because I don't want to be tracked anymore. I want you to trust me. And she's like, wait, what? I don't know about this. I do not trust you because you know why, don't you? And it goes to him talking about how he, in the very beginning of their relationship, he kind of made out with some chick and, you know, he could have done it with her, but he had a lot to drink and things were floppy. So that didn't happen. So he only made out with her and that was it. Um, and he never
No.
gave her any other reason to distrust him.
Well, that's enough of a reason.
I know. Yes.
I feel like if you're in a long distance relationship, since there's so much freedom, you got to be extra good. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
So he totally betrayed that trust. And I didn't like his approach with this problem. Like, take the cheating out of it. Like, let's say she was just jealous and wanted him to keep the tracking on his phone. I feel like he should have just talked about it like he was uncomfortable. He tried to make it like a bargaining chip, though, the phone, though. I didn't like that.
Yes.
You did it. I thought it was clever. I liked it a lot.
But it's like he's like buying out. Like, if you want her to trust you, it's like, make the case that she should trust you instead of like, I'll just throw some money in your face,
I mean, their whole relationship seems to be this power imbalance where Patrick provides everything for her.
Well, I mean, she is pretty feisty herself, though. Like, she's kind of, at least she's not going to take it like, just at face value.
And she says also that even 6 months into their relationship, they were still texting each other, and he was saying, "I miss you" and such,
Oh yeah,
which is
that's
interesting.
that's messed up.
Right, because I could kind of understand in the very, very beginning when you're first starting to get serious, if you might, see somebody else or make out with somebody else when you didn't quite establish your relationship as, exclusive or something. But if you're already 6 months in, I mean, that's pretty good amount of time.
Yeah, I think they already said they love each other. Did he say that?
Yes, he did.
See, yeah. So I mean, I like Patrick, but that was wrong.
Mm-hmm. And so then she says, okay, we're going to turn off the tracking, but if you give me any other reason to distrust you, then I'm just going to leave. I'm not going to give you any more chances. And then we get to the next scene, which is the party. John says we're having a housewarming party. He invites their friends over and like some coworkers or something. And some ladies. Thais does not like it. She looks very awkward. And she has to pull Patrick aside and give him a talk. And he's all like, come on, everybody here's ugly and boring. I mean, I got a Brazilian bombshell blonde. I mean, not blonde, black-haired person.
Were they all ugly?
I don't think so, but that was the exact right thing to say. I feel
Yes.
like
Yeah, that was the only thing you could have said at that moment.
yeah, and then to make out with her
Everybody's
in front
ugly,
of them. Yeah.
Oh my gosh, what did you think about that makeout?
Okay, why am I not as grossed out? Is it because they're pretty?
No, I was kind of grossed out at that last one. I was like,
I mean, I did say
that was a
ew,
little
like, oh,
too
that's
much.
kind of vulgar, but I did not like do this.
Oh yeah, you didn't cover your face.
No, I did not cover my
You
face.
opened your eyes really big and you got up close.
Oh, I said,
you were like,
oh,
ooh.
oh, okay. This is a sin against the Lord, but I will not tell.
I will
I
not
will
look
not
away.
tell. I will
I
not
will
look away.
not look away.
It wasn't cringy to you. Yeah, I mean,
Oh, this
I don't
one
know.
wasn't. I thought it
Maybe
was
'cause
just
they're
regular.
pretty.
I mean, they were at a party. It was an appropriate like time to do that and like
No, I mean-
express your relationship.
No, did you see them like rub their tongues together? Like literally stick out their
Yeah,
tongues and
I
rub
think
it
that
together.
that was the best thing to do for like for Patrick to show all the girls there. Like,
Yeah.
don't mess. I'm not the person to do anything with.
I mean, he didn't need to. I mean, look at her. I would already see her and already know this is not the person. You know what
I
I
don't
mean?
know. It seemed like the beginning of a porn. You know what I mean?
What do you
'Cause
mean?
they
Like all
could-
the
they
The
could-
beginning of the porn was
Well, I
Alina
mean-
and Caleb.
They could both
Alina
be
and Caleb.
they could both be in a porn, you know.
Oh, okay. Yeah, like for being good looking. I was gonna say, was it the scene, like all the bimbos? I mean, sorry, but you know what I mean.
Wow, they were not bimbos. How rude. If anyone was a bimbo, it was Patrick.
Yes, or John.
Oh,
John's a little bit of a skank.
Yeah.
He is. But
Um,
you already expect that from him. Like just by meeting him, like in 5 seconds, you're gonna know this dude is a hoe.
mm-hmm. So then for their next on, we see them like arguing and he's not treating her very well, it seems. And she's like, what? This is not the Patrick that I knew back in Brazil. Seems like his true colors shining through. And I see your true,
Yeah.
the true,
Yeah.
the true cut, you know where I'm
Yeah,
getting
you
at.
got it. We got that. We got that.
Did you guys think it was bad or no? I couldn't quite tell. It was so quick. Their scene. I forgot. Like, kind of yelled at her, or he's like, "Yeah, whatever, take it or leave it." I don't know.
Throwing money in her face again.
Seemed like there
Right.
a
It was
fight
the
about
throwing the money. Yeah.
I don't know, something
Yeah.
about a painting or something.
Yes.
Yeah, why is he so rude? He didn't need to say all that. I mean, I don't know what the fight was about, but That just seems like such a nasty reaction.
Yeah.
And I feel like that's a red flag right there. At
Mm.
first, I was thinking, man, he really loves her. He's going to do anything for her. But then these like little things are trickling out, like he cheated on her kind of. And now
Yeah,
he's,
not as good of a guy now, huh?
yeah, exactly. Now he's throwing
Mm.
things at her, throwing money at her. I don't know.
Yeah, I hate to say, man, like, is this roid rage? Is this what that is about?
He gave that up. He's not doing that anymore. He learned his lesson.
You don't know that. You don't know that.
Well, he's
He said
not
he
doing
stopped
that.
it for competition, but he's also not doing competition. So what's stopping him from continuing to do it?
That's true. He is super buff still.
I mean, but his skin is still good. Aren't you when you're like on steroids and you get pimples and all that? Don't you get really bad skin?
And small testicles. You have to measure his testicles.
Yeah. That's it with them.
Okay. These people had a lot. Do you want to move on to Miona and Jibri?
Yes.
Okay, so picking up from the super toxic fight between Jibri and Dacho or David, basically they're fighting on the floor. Jibri, yeah, he just wants Dacho to shut up so that we can record. And then Dacho's like, he's blaming Miona for his erratic behavior. And then
I hated that, by the way.
who? When he was blaming Miona?
Oh, you mean
Yeah, what
David
did you
was,
hate?
right? I'm
David,
sorry.
yeah.
Okay, never mind. You haven't gotten to the part where Jibri starts talking about it.
Well, yeah, I mean, so David basically is blaming Miona.
I mean,
and
sorry,
then
not David, Jibri. Jibri starts
yeah, and then after they make up and they record their song, Jibri starts apologizing about
Oh, that's the thing. Sorry, that was the part that I hated.
Jibri starts apologizing to the band about Miona. And I don't know if he's right or wrong necessarily. I feel like the thing that the issue for me is that it feels like he's trying to play all sides. He's trying to be nice to his mom, he's trying to be nice to the band, he's trying to be nice to Miona. And he's not really making a decision. And so like with whoever, depending on who he's with, he's trying to just say whatever they want to hear.
So is he like a Biniam? Yeah, how Biniam doesn't.
Yeah. I think he's like a Biniam, kind of. Yeah.
You know what's weird about him is because he seems like from his looks and his personality that he would be a strong, like he would know his mind really well, I suppose. But it seems like he just kind of goes with whatever people are telling him. He seems kind of childish and innocent in a way.
Mm-hmm.
And I feel so sad and bad for him to see him like kind of manipulated by these stronger personalities like David, and maybe kind of his mom and maybe even Miona. And I'm just like, oh, like I feel bad, especially he makes himself so vulnerable when he talks like, I just don't know what's going on with me. I just feel a lot of pressure. And I just feel when he talks like that, I'm like, oh, do you know what I'm saying?
Yeah, he does seem sincere and authentic, but yeah, you're right. Like he can't really make up his mind. I feel like he needs to choose. But you're right, he is surrounded by stronger people. So basically him and then David, they go out to this bar and then they're talking about the whole situation. And Jibri's talking about how he's a creative person and like he really loves his creative side, and he's not sure if he made the right decision in sacrificing that for Miona. And then David is like, I would wait if I were you. I want y'all to succeed, but I would wait. I wouldn't get married now. Which, in my mind, David, like, he's completely just trying to manipulate Jibri for the band. He's not really on Jibri's side. He just wants what he wants. And then we see Miona go dress shopping. And while I do feel like Miona does love Jibri, I feel like if Jibri is happier, like just being creative with his band and doing the things that, will make Jibri happy, I feel like Miona is going to fight that. as much as possible to get what she wants. She doesn't care about if like he's happier being a creative person, you know.
Right. Yes. Maybe that talk that he had with David was honest about his creativity. But on the other hand, I'm like, man, I hate David. He just seems like such a toxic person. He is
Yeah.
super toxic. Something about him I do not like at all.
Mm.
And I feel bad for Jibri. He's like someone who's really sincere and authentic and um like in acknowledging his feelings and then he's with
Mhm.
somebody like David. What did you think about that fight? Like I don't think Jibri had anything wrong about it. That was all David. He just said, let me like text
Which
Miona.
oh yeah, and then like David like wouldn't stop at all. Yeah, I agree. And like in my mind, like going back to last episode, I wanted to be like, shut the fuck up, David.
That's
just let him,
right.
just let him text her, and then just so you guys can record.
Yes, exactly.
So yeah, I don't know what's gonna happen. I feel like you should listen to his inner voice and do what makes him
But
happy.
his inner voice says that everyone might be right about her.
Well, his inner voice concerning like the band, like in his, you know, his creative mind. He says he can't handle vacation even. Like he has to be creating to be happy. And I feel like Miona is like not with that at all. Like Miona, in order to make Miona happy, he's gonna have to get to like to real work and make that money so she can live the Kardashian lifestyle. And she's not gonna be happy until then. So I don't know. It's gonna be really hard for him.
I'm trying to see if I have a hot take, and no, that was pretty much it.
We only have one left, right?
Yeah, it's the other goofballs. It's
Kobe.
Emily and Kobe. I guess they're friends again because they're just like laughing on a golf cart. Like the whole shut the fuck up scene didn't happen. So they go horseback riding. That was pretty cute, guys, right? That was Kobe's first time kind of getting close to a horse, petting a horse, and riding the horse. So this whole episode of them is just like a contrast of good times and bad times. So good time, horseback riding. Bad time. Now Emily has to beg her parents for money for the wedding. And it seems like Emily doesn't have a clue about how life works. And every time she's like kind of clueless, she turns to her parents, which is basically what they like, say about her in this episode. She's out of cash, but wants to have a wedding. So she says, Daddy, give me money. And her dad's like, yeah, man, we can totally give you money, but I need to figure out if you guys have a plan to like figure out your life after you guys get married. Because, you also have a choice. You don't have to get married. But she's like, no, we're getting married. And what Emily wants, Emily gets.
That annoys me. It's like you have the nerve to be like so headstrong and stubborn, but at the same time you're like also ignorant of the world and you're begging for money.
Yeah. And like her dad tells her, like, you don't really have
Seriously.
any life experiences. You've never
Shut
had
the
a
fuck up,
real
Emily.
job. Yeah, shut the fuck up. He was right. If there was anything Kobe has done right, it's telling her to shut the fuck up.
I
She's
mean,
like
and only because
clueless about everything.
yeah, she could take it too, you know. It's like she could hear that and like not care that much about it. It's not that big of a deal.
Well, so that was the thing, is that it's not a big deal now in this episode, but it sure was a big deal last week where she
Yeah,
made a
that's
big
true.
stank about it. So I don't know what was actually handled, quote unquote, because she did tell her dad that was handled already.
Mhm.
Even though they told her, like, nobody should be disrespecting you like that. And she's like, it's handled. People fight. But they're like, do people tell each other to shut the fuck up?
But what do you think about her saying that when the time comes, she'll deal with it? Like, for example, paying bills, paying a mortgage. It's kind of like that one storyline with what's in the one with the where they lived on the farm, the like
Brandon and Julia.
exactly where they're like, you can't do this, you don't know how to do this, you've never done that. Well, you're never gonna learn till you just go out there and do it. Like no amount of teaching or telling is going to substitute for the real thing.
Okay, the difference though between our boy Brandon, because that's my boy, versus these two idiots is Brandon's got like the means to be able to learn and get experience, versus I don't think Emily really wants to try that hard. She kind of just wants everything given to her.
Okay, I can see that. Yep.
Yeah, like with the ring, with the dad's money. Yeah.
Yep, they got one last scene in this episode, and this is where Emily's dad and Kobe have the talk. He brings up his concerns to Kobe and what their plans are and how he plans to execute it and take care of his family. And Kobe, got to give it to my mans for being assertive. But basically, he proposes the idea of getting trained by the dad to take over the architectural firm without experience, without education, and without licensing. And man, I had to like pause it real quick after all of that happened because I was dying inside. I couldn't, my heart couldn't handle the awkwardness of what was happening.
You had a secondhand embarrassment.
Oh, it was bad because he made it sound like Kobe. He made it sound like, oh yeah, I was a civil engineer in Cameroon. And I'm like, really? That's awesome, dude. And then the dad was like, do you have licensing? Do you have education? He's like, no, I don't even have anything after a high school diploma. And I'm like, oh God, kill me now.
But I mean, it was so ignorant that it was kind of endearing.
Yeah, it was cute.
It was like, well, here's another endearing thing. Daddy Warbucks over here tells the dad, hey, I got $4,000. Like I never told Emily that I have $4,000, but I have $4,000. And that's where I extra died. And I was just like, oh God, please God. Did he ask anyone, or did he like type in how much $4,000 actually gets you in America?
I love that one. I love when he said that. He was like, well, also, I didn't tell Emily that I brought some money. I did. I'm not, I don't mean to toot my horn, but it's $4,000.
Yeah, had he told me like, yeah, I never told Emily, but I actually brought $20,000. I've been like, how the fuck did this dude come up with 20? Like, that's a lot. That's awesome.
Were you
like
holding
$4,000, dude? Come on.
Were you holding your breath? I held my breath a little bit. Like, oh, he's gonna say how much he brought.
Yeah, I did. I was just like, my ears perked up. He was like, I never told Emily, but I have some money. I'm like, is he gonna say like $20,000? Because
yeah,
like $4,000. And then I like was kind of like reacting like the dad, where it's just like, yeah, that's not a lot of money.
it's only gonna get you like maybe past 1 month if you're lucky.
Even that, I mean, how much of your bills cost you to live in California? It costs like $6,000 a month just to live, just to keep myself alive.
Yeah.
Well, yeah. So the dad is like, you guys need to really kind of work out what it is that you guys want to do, how you plan to do it. Because he's very firm in that he's not going to support all of these mouths. And it looks like Kobe is kind of waking up. I propose you guys go to Cameroon. That sounds like a great time.
Right? If $4,000 will get you a whole year and pay for your food and everything. Wow.
Yeah. Join the other way.
Yeah. Seriously. There was this job in Thailand that paid $100,000 USD. And I'm like, yeah, dude, I would love that job. I would be living like royalty.
Yeah. Any other hot takes on anybody else?
Well, they have their next on where she's going dress shopping and she bought herself a ring.
Did she buy herself a ring and then expect him to pay for it? Or she just bought it and like...
Well, it seems like for the 2 seconds that showed up, she just basically said, I bought myself a ring.
And then we have Ari And Biniam, who I guess Biniam is gonna do his first MMA fight. And then we see Ari, downer Ari, like, what if I told you I had a very bad feeling about this?
Yeah, is that
Right
something you
before his
should be
fight.
saying a fight before a fight happens? That sounds
Yeah.
not supportive.
Exactly. It's like the last thing you'd ever want to hear.
I'd have been like, go kill him, make sure he doesn't walk again. I need you to like make sure that he is bloody.
Yeah.
That's your words.
That
like you got this. You got this.
exactly. That's support, man. I'm like, you need to murder that man and $1 million baby him.
Wow, that's really aggressive.
Well, then, you know, it really like pumps him up. I'm like, I'm gonna $1 million
Yeah.
baby this man. And it looks like he lunges right at him.
Maybe I know, right? You'd be like, maybe when you talk to him, it's be like, that guy said he hates your mother, he hates your family.
That's it. See
He
how
called
much
you,
more
he
amped you
called
would
your
get.
baby ugly.
Yeah,
Did you
see,
hear him?
then I would do everything it takes to win. Not like, no, I don't want you to fight because you might get hurt. I'm like,
I
yeah, I'm gonna
know.
get hurt, dude. We all know this.
Yeah, she gotta hype him up.
He didn't seem to care too much though. He's like, it'll be fine.
Yeah, how much of that is like, I don't think he really understands what she's saying.
Exactly. Thank
Mm.
God for that, if that's the case. Because somebody told me that right before fight, I'd be like, oh God, I can't do
Yeah,
this.
right?
I can't
Yeah,
do this
exactly.
again. There's a bad feeling,
I'd
bad
probably be like,
omens.
oh God, yeah, I don't want to fight now.
Bad omens? No. I'm not down for bad omens. I take that shit seriously. I can't call the fight off.
It's bad luck. It's bad juju.
Bad juju? That's all Arya say. What? I had a bad feeling about this. Oh shit. Bad feeling.
Someone should tell Arya to shut the fuck up.
Yeah.
It's true. I agree.
Anyway,
All
I'm so
right,
curious to see this fight though, guys. I really
Me
want
too.
to see
I hope
it.
he does well.
Me too.
That said, just want to say thank you to everybody who gives a 5-star review. We really appreciate it. If you haven't left a review, please do so on whatever podcast app you use. It really helps us keep creating the podcast. And thank you, Dylan. Thank you, B. Anything else?
See ya next time.
I hope Benny $1 million baby's that man.
All right. Bye.
Bye.
Bye.